I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It should be working now. All right. Okay, cool. So let me back up for a minute. What I was saying is it's a perfect world. Right? So it started off, the theme on the slide was this market walks on eggshells without cracking them, meaning almost on a daily basis or every other day. Um, the market looks like it's going to roll over, but it doesn't. Buyers step up on the dips. And I put this little square around this area to display the fact that it's consolidated for a few days. And the difference being that it's gone sideways here, and you can see the 65-minute chart. And I've got the overnight data here, but you've got some consolidation. Sure, it whipped up and down, but on the daily chart here, it's breaking out from a little minor consolidation, and you've got this little correction bar here. And we know the last couple of days we're just running in place, waiting for this news. And the difference is, like here, where it tested the support, well, it just can all the way up, and then it gapped up from there. So the probability in that scenario was going to be a stall because it ran. It's like telling you, hey, you just ran 5 miles and it was like, okay, now run a sprint for whatever amount and see, you're going to get tired. So that's kind of the analogy, the way to look at that. Whereas this has had this resting period. So it creates a bias, resting period, uptrend. You should be able to continue to move higher versus stalling. Now, if it does stall, at the end of the day, we see a big red bar, which just doesn't support that happening. Something went wrong. Well, yet to be seen. What we have right now is this consolidation. And you can see where prices are. It's gapping above that. So there should be buyers on dips into the gap fill if it fills the gap. And if it's really bullish, it's not even going to fill the gap. It's just a 5-minute high and it's going to go up to wherever it's going to go up to. So bullish. Now let's look at some other markets as we do every day. So this one, a little bit different, right? But it went sideways. Go back and look at that. Back. And so, the up day, up, and side. And the Q's up and resistance, and it's going sideways. And that's breaking out. It looks like, well, yeah, new all-time highs. And this is a whippy, right? Sideways consolidation, but we got a minor little shelf there. Still, it should be able to go higher. If it doesn't, something's wrong. And looking at the weekly chart, this market's been running in place for a month. Now, bottom of the range, top of the range, little minor and consolidation. It should be able to keep going with a stop at this point below yesterday's low. And now that it's gapping up there, it shouldn't go back down below yesterday's low. Definitely not today. And absolutely on a closing basis. It should be able to go higher. Right? So that's what it is. Creating bias. We'll see what happens. Internals have room. You can see this one starting to get toward the upper end there. Breath is still terrible. But if everything starts to kick it in here, and we'll see how this lines up. And we had a little bit of a discussion yesterday about different things in the green room. And one of them was, we looked at options expirations being turning points. And so, September seasonality being negative, internals don't support the turn yet. And so maybe this market can find some legs into the end of, not the end, but the middle of next week. Well, it's the end of next week for the options expiration, but we get the interest rate decision, which seems it should be a shoe-in at this point, right? Uh, with this data, that they're going to cut. And we'll see, maybe they even do half a point. So, and maybe the options expiration is the turning point where we do see some downside. And so, with that being a thought, maybe this market can continue to go higher. But of course, there'll be intraday gyrations continuing up into sometime next week, right, since it's coming out of this little consolidation. So the Russell has been more of having these intraday deeper corrections, which on the daily chart don't look like what are you whining about, Greg? The daily chart, there's nothing wrong here. Okay, but on a intraday basis, even yesterday, we had a nice looking setup that looked like it was going to go higher on the 5 minute chart, and it wound up failing. So this has been weaker, and now it's at the top of the range. And what we want to see is this thing start to take off. So if everything's going to kick into gear and we can get a push up into the news next week, this should kick it in and should go higher. And we'd want to see the transports turning point. Right, Robert. Even Alex mentioned yesterday that Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, his belief would be, sell the fact, right? What do they say? Buy the rumor, sell the news, that type of thing. So, here's the cut. Everybody's like, oh, the uncertainty's over. Here's the cut. There's the liquidity, which is great, good longer term, but in a short term basis, that could be the reason that markets have a decline. Yeah. So, look, we look at what's the trend, what has been lagging, what could play catch up, what provides opportunities. And so then, we create a bias, we take our trades, and we see what happens. Uh, so one of the concerns that we talked about earlier in the week and even last week was software rolling over. And on Monday, I said, you know what? Maybe retesting this pivot, buyers are going to come in and this thing's going to turn up. And that's what happened. And it's not like I have some special crystal ball. It's just I look to the left and like, you know what? This is down a couple of weeks. There's a pivot low here. It's testing that pivot low. It's been weak. Maybe enough buyers will come in here. And they are. And so now look at where this is. Geez, look, I'm looking at this for the first time this morning. Right? And now look at something in this thing is gapping up big. I could go look and see what that is. Microsoft ripped. So I don't know, maybe there was news on that. Apple, I saw pre-market when I saw the TV on, I saw was down, and that was after their event yesterday. I think everybody needs a new phone, right? Yeah, Microsoft's gapping up into this resistance area. But so when I look at a chart like this, first of all, we know that this is a consolidation and a bearish bar and a number two, and it could be a 1, 2, 3 down. But this is an institutional favorite. So if the market starts falling apart, yeah, they'll continue to sell this. The market's not falling apart. It's just going nowhere. Now we've got this news. So it'll be interesting to see what this does today. Does it hold on to this gain? And if it does, and this thing can close up here, I think this is a huge opportunity, a great opportunity for this to go higher next week or into that news. Just a pattern, this would be a downside shakeout if this plays out that way. So let's keep an eye on that. Apple is down, right, but coming into, well, it's not quite there yet, into the rising 20 and that support. So we'll see if that can make a turn. Just because it's weak this morning, it doesn't mean it's going to stay weak. So we'll see what it does at support. I'm curious to see what the dollar's doing here. Really nothing. A lot of nothing. Right? Interest rates are down a bit. And the dollar's holding up. And it usually doesn't do that in this type of situation when they're expecting a cut and the 13 week is falling. So something else is going on, under which beyond what I know, other than just looking at the charts, that the dollar is stable here. But we talked about the 13-week having fallen like this. We apply the same thing to whether it's the dollar, whether it's a currency, whether it's futures. That's a wide range bar. Ending. Now, when I say ending, that doesn't mean it's got to go up a lot. But when I say ending, a wide range bar ending, that means at least the downside momentum is going to stall. And so it's up, up a little bit. Why? I don't know. But it's nothing meaningful yet other than it just being extended. Right. So it's up a little bit. Um, the 10-year, that's down. So it's interesting that, you know, gold is going up. It has been going up. And, you know, it's jiggling around here a little bit. It's extended on the short term. So it's really not moving all that much. But, the interest rates going down and gold going up makes sense, but the dollar holding up doesn't make sense. Um, anyway, where's the inflation? Well, I guess we're all going to see, with all the speculation about tariffs. All right, so let's see where the diamonds are at. That should be new all-time highs. There's a nice long consolidation, which means it's underperforming, but it could be one that now begins to outperform since it's been underperforming. And it's really not doing much of anything, is it? Right there are the futures. It can't even get out of the range. And, the United Healthcare ripped yesterday. And I guess with Apple down, anyway, I see a pattern like this and it suggests it could, be a catch up trade, that this would be the one to go to. I looked at IWM, the futures here doing nothing. So not everything is firing on all cylinders here. It's kind of a select thing. And these futures are right against the pivot. So it makes me a little speculative about this up move here. So Bitcoin is beginning to improve. It's at this pivot, but definitely that's a plus. That's improving. And well, crude oil not really doing much of anything. So as I'm thinking and looking at these different markets, it's like, okay, it's up here. Is something significant going to happen here today? It doesn't look that way all that much. Right on a short-term basis, short-term intraday trades, but makes me think, and rightly so, that there's still some apprehension about tomorrow, right? Core inflation rate and CPI is coming, initial jobless claims. So tomorrow should be really the big day as to, whether this market really can take off up or down. Alex, you heard me tell that story about my neighbor with the 666, I think, years ago. I'll tell it quick. Neighbor wants to get involved. He was a bit of a gambler. Right? He likes to go to casinos and gamble about trading. I let him come to a seminar, and he winds up borrowing money on a credit card. They said low interest rates, and he puts it into the markets, and the market's going down, and down and down. And he's like, Greg, what am I gonna do? I was like, where's the bottom? And I forget, he was talking about the S&P or the Dow. I said, I think maybe it's got another 100 points to go down, and that would be it, right? It would see a good low. And he sells, right? After going through that pain, S&P 666 marks the bottom. So gambler, no plan, didn't listen, sells the low with borrowed money. How stupid is that? All right. My wife's laughing. All right. So let me SPX. Here's the numbers for today. Uh, right? So gapping up. And so this one is way up here. So let's see what it does after 5 minutes or so. Like I said, there's no way it should go down to yesterday's low after gapping up here. So it's about in the middle of the range. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. A lot of interesting things here. Let me start by showing the three that we were talking about yesterday into the close. I actually did a little 1 minute video on them because they all still look good. A coin. So I actually posted this one as a put spread. Let me give it to you. So we have a closing breakout. So, look at this power 15-minute chart, just powering up here. So that looks good. Directional, also keep an eye on. We have, yep, Pelletier was one of them. And it did not trigger yesterday. So now the gap is messing us up. Look at that, gapping up 550. But look at that beautiful end of day base. So that is messing us up. And then dash. Okay, that one's not as bad. Well, it's gapping up $2. So let me tell subscribers because I already posted these yesterday. Up here, cancel, excessive gap, dash, wait for a pullback. All right, so those still look good. Sorry, so those were the three that I mentioned in the video. Both. Yeah, I posted that pre-market, Thomas, bull rectangle, daily, weekly. Need a pullback. But I was watching, we talked about this in the green room yesterday. We were watching it here on this little breakout, and I said, no, I want more chopping around sideways. And this is a perfect example. Broke down, new low reversal, closing breakout. Now I have the confidence. So we just need a pullback. Goldman, closing breakout. Yep. XLF. That's much stronger than XLF, isn't it? And JP Morgan. Citigroup, I have an alarm up here. Um, still not want to rush into it. It's swapping around, but all these moving averages. Alarms here. Roadrunner. Buy a buy setup. Igniting. It's not an inside bar, but look at the 15-minute chart. So look at the weekly, monthly. So I like that. I actually bought some pre-market. That looks good. Alarm went off. Alarms. Nixno, we've been in, nice gap up. So let's just take our money, 5-minute low. Because look at that. Look where it's gapping at these prior highs. I was tempted to set out an alarm pre-market to say short the stock at 33.30, but I know that confuses some people. So I just said, let's just keep it simple, 5-minute low. Paul, I was watching the last couple of days here. And now the gaps, shoot, the gaps messing me up. But this is nice daily, weekly, monthly entry. Perfect multiple time frames. Perfect, perfect, perfect. The gaps messing me up. Gapping up $4. That's 4%. Hertz. I posted this last night actually. Big sloppy W pattern with a void. We're gonna buy calls on that. G Pro we're already in, but you can add the 1, 2, 3. Looks great. We have long calls, Whiskey Bravo, we're already in. Closing breakout, bullish weekly, monthly. A PPS alarm just went off. That's sloppier. SanDisk alarm. I'm watching this for a Plimo, but it's gapping up again. Now, had this been gapping up more, like $5 or more, then I'd be all over this for 30-minute low gap and crap. But it's still on my list. It's not ready yet, but it's still on my list. Here we talked about Reddit. We have a put spread, and we can tighten the stop now. So we have a nice open profit now. Those are all my alarms. Let's go to earnings. Oracle. Now Oracle, man, oh man, capping up $80. Wowzer. I'm curious what the expected move was. I didn't do any earnings trades yesterday. Expected move was 21 and it's gapping up 80. That is a 4x. 4x. I cannot remember the last time I've seen such a gap greater than the expected move. So this is totally on my call spread list and day trade short list. And it's just because of excessive gap. I have a bucket for that. It's bullish, but it's excessive. And here's another one in the middle chart here, synopsis. It's bearish, but excessive. Look, 440s I can't even see on my daily chart. I got to come over here. Nasty, 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 nasty gap. But it's excessive. And I like the fact that it's selling off more pre-market, because the more you get that rubber band stretched, the better. GME, igniting gap. I was bullish on this, and I considered I forget 25 or 26 calls, and they were I think the 26 calls were like 45 cents. I'm like, no way, I'm not paying that. But it's bullish. We can maybe sell puts on a pullback. RBBK 94, right in the middle of the range, no pattern. AVAV 238, no pattern. Amric, I see prints at 2230. If it does open here at 2230, 30-minute low. Day trade short has room to 21. Oh, great, shoot, I forgot to log into social media. So if there's any questions, if you can tell them to me. I'm in now though. MEI 850, excessive gap. LE gapping down, but no pattern. Alumla 1650, that could be a 30-minute low. I don't like the way it trades overlapping bars, but 30-minute low short. MTRX. That's, whoa. I can't tell where it's gapping. I see a print here at 1277. I don't know. I've got much better on my list. Lake, that could be 30-minute low short. Day trade. Target 1360. Chewy. We actually did an earnings put spread. And see, I was counting the gains last night. I sent out a telegram saying, tighten your stop. And then, then it plunked this morning. So we just got to use 30-minute low where we got the 39s. So it's against us here. We just got to manage it. 10, no pattern. TAKT, that's setting a denied gap breakout, but it's gapping up $2.5 at the excessive gap. Now, let's say hypothetically it was gapping here to 1785. I'd be all over that for a 5-minute high. And it's actually a bullish pre-market igniting buy setup. That is a very bullish pre-market pattern right there. These are just miscellaneous things. CNK is the 1, 2, 3 from the big old W bottom. Now VSAT, little gap reversal, 1, 2, 3 has room. Extended weekly, but has room. Day trade I like. Orly closing breakout. Shows it gapping down a little bit. Fly, a recent IPO. I actually sold the 40-35 put spread yesterday. Nothing to do with it, man. SAP. Wow, SAP is down on Oracle earnings. That's rare. I was bidding for this last night, and now I'm glad I did not get filled. So nothing to do with SAP now. Lace. Potential bottoming pattern. SMCI, I was looking at for a put spread. I don't like the directional, but now that's gapping up. There's going to be a little premium. BMRN hasn't made the turn yet, but see Charlie alarm. That'd be a great 30-minute high. All right, so just chilling here at the open. That Nick Snow. See, man, oh man. Now I wish I said short the stock at 33. We've just given up all our gains. Shoot. I told you I was contemplating it, but I just didn't, want to confuse subscribers. Reddit. Oh, nice up alarm. Let's move stuff here. 235.46. If y'all can help me on that Oracle call spread. Yeah, Joby's on my list. I forget if I mentioned it already.
What do you want to do with the call spread, Dan?
Oracle, 30-minute low or whatever pattern. It's excessive gap.
Oh, you want to do a call spread?
Yeah, I'm busy here. I'm asking somebody to help me. And then
Well, forget it. Don't do it if you're busy. I just set an alert. I mean, I keep an eye on it, but if you got something far enough away, just do it.
What?
I mean, if you got juice at 340.
Reddit, we actually made our target. Bali on Oracle, excessive gap. I've been mentioned. I just can't watch everything. That mental chart synopsis. Whoa, Amazon, Meta, what the F? Look at some of these retracements. Apple. Oh, shoot, I actually tried selling my Meta when I did not get filled. Oracle's not ready for a call spread. What's going on with gold here? Shit.
Gold hasn't taken out yesterday's high.
Well,
Just inside day so far.
now look at GDX. That's what I'm looking at. Things are NVIDIA, and Tesla are holding up the best.
STRL. Easily a put spread. Wait to see if it can, after 15 minutes or so, what it does.
The spreads are asinine. There's no weakness. Gold, yeah, gold is yeah, weaker than GDX. So we did a call spread on this. And we have IWM put spread that's holding. That's great. Reddit, we just met our target of a dime. And Chewy earnings trade is against us. Of course, we're going to wait at Bali. Yeah, that's yeah.
Meta's coming down too.
I know. I tried bailing on mine. Medu didn't get filled because it was spready, and I put my order out in the middle. So there's a
These things
lesson.
are coming to support. Let's see what they do. This market, it's the theme of the slide this morning. It walks on eggshells, but they don't crack, meaning we have moments like this that looks like, yeah, we're going to crack the eggs, and then the buyers just come in again. But that's the way it's been. Now we got this news coming tomorrow, which makes me think, I don't think the selling will get that out of hand. But right now, a little 5-minute bar, 15-minute bar looks ugly.
Hertz triggered. Alex, I posted your TRMB. Looks great now. Takes out yesterday's low. It's the Campbell's. That's still okay if it triggers, but not doing anything. Or cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. It's just how aggressive do you want to be on the entry? I would prefer it to rip to a new high and then, give us a 5 minute M top or whatever. But it's an excessive gap. Um, but look at the 15-minute chart, is not bearish yet. So I'm watching it. Let me change this to 5 minute actually. It's better. Look at the synopsis. Look at the size of that nasty gap. Let's see, at least that's a climb pre-market. So um, let's check how low we can go. Oh man, there's no puts down here because the gap's so big. The the lowest strike is 450. People are getting absolutely smoked. All right, so we would have to go out to next week, but the spreads are crazy. And just to show you how jacked these are, the 330s for next week, 145, 195. That's priced in some pain. Yeah, I had a short posted on Microsoft and then I canceled it pre-market. But my alarm is still there under that 15-minute pivot. Yeah, that's a small little bear flag within the WRB. Yep, my alarm didn't go off, but ring alarm. Look here, we canceled. What about dash? That dash, I said they could do in the gap fill, so I'll record that. Microsoft's alarm went off from yesterday. Yeah, I'm watching there, middle chart. Hey, Oracle could be maybe, well, 15 is still bullish. You see why I didn't jump in front of it? It's not my setup. I need something bearish intraday. But let's see how far up we can go now. Wow, Alex, by waiting, you can now get $1 for the 390s. Wow, so that jumped a lot. So that's a lesson for waiting. I hope it goes up another $20. I don't care. But there's a high likelihood we're going to do it here eventually. Come on. It's not ready, but it is consolidating to the 2050. All right, Microsoft. Yeah, let's watch it on a bounce now. All right, you could do to start nibbling on Oracle if you want and add. Those 390s already fell from $1 to 85 cents. So yeah, you can do it now if you want. You could get $1 for the 385s. Yeah, if you like it in, yep, that's the time to do it. I like the retest on the weekly. Daily's just not great as all. Let me expand it. It's the place to do it. It's nice action today. I like it. G Pro up alarm. All right, Oracle. That was a nice entry that we just talked about there. Spreads on the puts are ridiculous. Some BM. Alex, this is a bio. Wait, hold on. I always mix these up. Never mind. No, I typed it wrong in my toss. Uh, uh, looks, yeah, not huge premium for spread. G Pro up alarm looks great. To add over the high. Ava, we did a half lot yesterday. My up alarm went off. Left us in at the low when the market started rallying. Yeah. I always mix it up with burning. All right. Okay, so this niche now opened up here. 31.90. So we still have $2 of intrinsic value. 919 calls. Niche, low alarm. My break, what I capped under my break even still isn't stopped out, but obviously on probation. 37.38. Saying so, that's one I wish I moved it to break even. I'm always tight. Yeah, so feel like, yeah, that's good. But just the market slopping around is my concern. No, spiders, gap breakout. Spiders look great. BLM lagging. Diamonds lagging. Spiders look great. All right, for the best right now, the four horsemen. It has sloppy trends and a downtrend. That's not my setup. Day trade or swing. Um, coin is stronger. It's just extended on the 15. Coin is a superior setup trend than Mister. Go through all opens right now. UNH is fine. It sold 2/3. Arrow's a dog. Amazon, where's ours? Oh, shoot. 233. Damn. We did a, that's a breakout failure. CNC say that looks great for 1, 2, 3 if it closes like this. G Pro is fine. C is fine. Covered call ring going in. But we have calls. Well, they expire next week, so we're fine. Stop down. Yeah, we could have got 390s though. When I talked about it, Greg, was $1. I gave the verbal green light. And then I said that 385 had $1. Let me, how much? How much is 375?
$1.
Yeah, I'd rather do them 380s for 87 cents. What I mean, right here in the, yeah, I mean, it's fine. I gave the green light earlier up here. I didn't do it, but I gave the verbal green light. Awesome, Polly. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think it was 390s were $1. All right, good for you. RSG, we're still in relative weakness. I'm going to watch this next bounce.